One of the most frustrating things for pianists is when they feel their practicing isn't working. You sit at the piano regularly and put in many hours of practicing, a lot of hard work, but you don't really feel you're making the progress that you wish. You don't feel that you're solving the problems as you would like to. It's not really a problem of effort very often, but usually it's down to the structure, the clarity and the problem-solving aspect of your piano practice. So in this video, I want to explore some of the most common reasons why piano practice isn't efficient and what we can do to improve that. So, one of the most common problems in piano practicing is trying to tackle too much at once. We take a big section of a piece of music and go over and over, trying to get everything in place at the same time. The dynamics, the fingering, the notes, the control, the rhythm, everything all at once. And often this is just too much to try to solve in one go. What we need to do is to narrow things down and focus on one thing at a time. So it might be one movement of the arm, one gesture where the thumb tucks under, or just a few notes to get the notes really secure. When we focus like this on really small sections, we can start to solve problems. Repetition in itself isn't a problem, but repeating without awareness can become just an automatic process where we're not really focusing and thinking. And in the worst case scenario, we can actually end up practicing mistakes. So a lot of our practice does involve repeating passages, but what we need to do is have a clear focus so we know why we're repeating it and what we want to achieve from that. So before repeating any section, always ask yourself those questions. Why am I repeating this? What do I want to achieve? What am I aiming to improve? And then after repetition, you need to review. Was that successful? If not, why not? And what am I going to change on the next repetition to ensure this works? Let me show you what I mean, and I'm going to take some of Chopin's famous and wonderful Fantasia Impromptu in C# minor. So a lot of pianists might tackle this and start playing it through. And they may feel, I'm not quite happy with some of those details. Maybe the coordination of the hands there wasn't quite together. It was a little bit loud for a piano dynamic and various other rhythmical unevenness and things. A lack of control. So they might decide to have another go. And then they may feel, oh, I can improve on that. I'll have another go. But in reality, you're just repeating the same thing. They may decide, okay, I'm going to play it slower, which is a really good thing to do. But still, the odd slip might occur. What we need to do is really focus on a small section. Now, in bar 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this bar, that arpeggio, I didn't feel was as secure and as controlled as I would want it to be. So I could just work on that slowly. Now I'm noticing it's that thumb tucking under. So I'm just practicing that pair of notes, just that movement. And because of the tempo, I'm not needing to tuck the thumb under and keep it legato. I can actually do a bit of a sideways movement with the hand, which is easier. When I've got that, I might start to put it in context. So I'm building the control. I'm just doing those two notes, then I'm building outwards from there, working on that one gesture of that thumb moving. And by doing this, I'm able to get the control and the security on that one movement, which often is just one movement like that that is causing other problems around it. So that's what I mean in practicing by really focusing on a small section. One of the most important questions when you're practicing is, what exactly am I trying to improve here? What is the aim of this practice? Always give yourself a goal. And once we've got that clarity, we avoid frustration. We avoid just endless repetition with the same problems coming up. We're now calmer in our practice, we're much more focused, and we're efficient. Now, performance usually reveals the quality of the preparation. If the preparation hasn't been thorough and there are problems in the practice room, even if they're only very minor, they will likely show up in the performance, and sometimes be worse in the performance than they were in the practice room, because we've got that added thing of a bit of adrenaline, a bit of nerves. So all this that we're working on here of really focusing on practicing and being efficient means that we're much more prepared, much more secure, and this should mean that our performances also feel a lot more confident. You see, very often piano practice stops working, not because we've become lazy or you're not putting in the effort required, but it's really down to the focus. Focus in on very small sections and always aim to solve a problem. Have a goal in your practicing, know what you're trying to achieve. Now, if you'd like a more structured approach to your piano practicing, to explore this in more detail, I'm going to be doing an online piano workshop, how to practice the piano more effectively. And I've also created a free piano practice checklist, which you can access through the practice letter, along with a more advanced piano practice system for busy adult pianists. You can find links to all of this in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you.